This is a true story. A story of two different law enforcement officers handling virtually the same kind of call from concerned citizens in regard to other citizens openly carrying their weapons in public. The differences will be noted and law enforcement actions will be observed and compared. Remember, it is an officer's duty to uphold their oath to the Constitution of the United States. That is, to protect and secure the life, liberty, and property of the citizens they serve, and to facilitate, not hinder, their pursuit of happiness, as long as, in that pursuit, there is no infringement on the rights of others. Story number one begins with 5 young ladies, ages 18 to 25, who, hungry from a long trip, stop into a Marshfield, Missouri Walmart to grab a bite to eat. 2 of the girls are armed, one with a Ruger 38 Special, one with a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber semi-auto handgun. We now turn our attention to story number 2. A group of patriots peaceably assemble on a busy street corner to exercise their First and Second Amendment rights. At least 2 men are armed, this man with what appears to be a semi-auto rifle hanging to the front, and this man with a rifle strapped to his back. Back to story number 1. Enter law enforcement.
Hi, this is my notification. I want to see some identification. No trouble. Where? Permanent. Oh, okay. You all together? Yes. Let's see your ID then, too. This is all you got? Where are you from? You don't have any other ID besides a passport? How old are you?
19.
You?
18. 24.
I'm wanting to see some identification.
Oh.
Do you have your identification I can see?
I do.
I'd like to see it then.
Okay, is there, did I break a law or anything?
Okay, I want you to see your identification, please.
Has a law been broken, sir?
I don't know yet. That's what I'm trying to determine here, okay?
Now story number 2. Enter law enforcement.
Yeah. How's it going, sir?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
This is what I call dedication to the cause out here in the rain.
Hell yeah.
Back to story number 1. Law enforcement's interaction with fellow citizens.
Are you guys here as well?
Yeah.
Or just with them? You're with them also?
They're with them.
You're all traveling together?
Yeah, we're all
traveling. Okay. You have some identification too. Folks, I asked you. Please step over here and say, oh, sir. Right, sorry, sir. Do as I asked you.
Story number 2. Law enforcement's interaction with fellow citizens.
Very good. Very good. James. How you doing, sir? Andrew.
Right on.
Buell. I'm Nick. Nick, nice to meet you.
Right on.
Story number 1. The officer attempts to explain why he's there.
Am I being suspected of something?
I don't know. I just get a call, and that's the reason I'm here. I'm wanting to see some identification.
Has a law been broken, sir?
I don't know yet. That's what I'm trying to determine here, okay?
Story number 2. This officer attempts to explain why he's there.
You guys are out here scaring people, so if people call, I gotta come.
Yeah.
You guys are exercising your freedom of speech, your Second Amendment rights, and that's all good.
Which law enforcement officer do you think handled the matter constitutionally? And which law enforcement officer do you think puts a respectable face on police officers? Leave your comments in the box below and share this video with everyone you know. The purpose of this video is not to simply expose the cops who project tyrannical behavior, but to honor those who, because of inner integrity, will not back down from their oath to secure the people's
will
liberty.
pan out or the results it will produce if it already exists somewhere else for us to examine. An example of this is legalizing drugs. The reaction to this is all over the map from Americans. Speculation runs rampant. However, almost no one offers evidence from jurisdictions that have already done so, such as Portugal. The same idea can easily be applied to gun control, and we don't have to look outside the U.S. for answers. For 200 years, Vermont has had what we today call constitutional carry. In other words, they have no laws concerning the carrying of arms. Both open and concealed carry are perfectly legal without the need for any government permission slip. That's constitutional carry. And Vermont has the lowest crime rate in the nation. For decades, gun control advocates cried that Vermont was not an apt model because of its rural character, and that this horrible, evil thing called constitutional carry should not be permitted to spread to other states because blood would run in the streets. I said Vermont had constitutional carry for 200 years. Well, it still does. But in 1991, it was joined by Montana. And as we discuss it today in 2015, 24 years after enacting constitutional carry, Montana is the 10th safest state in America. But again, the anti-gunners cried that, like Vermont, it was a rural state and must be rejected as being indicative of the safety and benefits of an armed citizenry. Then in 2010 came Arizona. Arizona has something Vermont and Montana don't. Phoenix, a large, diverse metropolitan center. Phoenix has a population of 3.2 million people. This was exactly the type of major metropolitan setting in which anti-gunners had been claiming constitutional carry would be a disaster. This was the environment that would prove anti-gunners right, that the carrying of firearms by anyone and everyone, as long as they're legally permitted to own a gun, would result in a dramatic increase in killings, that every fender bender would turn into a shootout. So, how did it turn out? I reached back a few years before the law passed to ensure numbers could not be skewed by the debate about constitutional carry. From 2008 to 2014, violent crime in Arizona dropped 17% and murders dropped by a whopping 36%. I think it's fair to say those numbers are exactly the opposite of what anti-gunners told us would happen. Arizona enacts constitutional carry and the murder rate drops 36%. Given these numbers, and from a big city setting, how hateful and disgusting is it that anti-gunners still work to block constitutional carry everywhere the issue is raised? Since then, Wyoming, Arkansas, and Kansas have followed suit with the expected drop in violent crime stats. One very interesting statistic has been the dramatic drop in the number of forcible rapes. Depending on the locale, after constitutional carry laws were passed, forcible rapes dropped anywhere from 25 to 34%. That's amazing. And still anti-gunners battle against constitutional carry. It's weird. It's almost as if behind their rhetoric they actually support murder and rape. Just as we can judge constitutional carry by the places it's already been done, in the wake of the Umpqua College shooting in Oregon, we can apply the same test to campus carry. What? Oh, I think an anti-gunner's head just exploded. Anyway, in 2013, Colorado updated its concealed carry law. The law has now been twice interpreted by Colorado appellate courts to permit CCW holders to carry concealed on campus and to disallow colleges and university regions from banning the carrying of firearms on campus. So what has the outcome been in the 12 years since the passage of that law? Nothing. No shootings on campus, no firearms-related crimes committed on campus by CCW holders in 12 years. Once again, the hysterical claims of the anti-gunners are proven false by real life. And on January 1st, 2016, a new law will take effect in Texas that specifically permits CCW holders to carry on campus. And what will be the outcome of that? Well, the same as in Colorado, nothing. One has to wonder how many times the anti-gun crowd can have the real world prove them wrong and still...
Gun-related question for you, Mr. Merrifield. I understand your office supports CRS 1812, the magazine restrictions?
Yes, we did.
So what do you guys think, or what do you personally think should happen to, like, say, a young lady who's being chased by 16 attackers and she pulls out a high-cap mag and shoots 16 rounds? What should happen to her?
16 attackers, so that's a heck of a hypothetical. I'm not really sure how to handle that.
Well, say she's a bad shot and there are 5 attackers.
Because I'm hearing that, I'm picturing a Mad Max movie. You know, something post-apocalyptic with 16 attackers. Personally, I can't speak for myself. I can only speak for my office, and where I can say that yes, we did support that bill. That's the only comment I can give.
How difficult has that been for you personally? I mean, you must have friends that are gun owners and want to have bigger mags.
Generally speaking, most of my friends who are gun owners don't need that 16th round.
I've had a little trouble, you know, putting that many into my Glock. You know, it never seems to, the mags always seem to be 15 or less.
Right.
But you know, it's a basic human right. There's no active aggression by having an extra round or 2 in the mag.
Right. Probably the best way I can put it personally is if it saves one life, if having that one less round saves one child at a school when a gunman walks in because he's having to reload, then to me it's worth it.
Well, seriously, how many gunmen, murderers do you know who are interested in what the law is on mags? Aren't they just going to go to Wyoming and get a bigger one?
we have to start somewhere. Saying that,
Do we?
Absolutely. Saying that we can do nothing is a very poor, saying that it's not enough, that somebody can do something else to get around it is a poor excuse not to try to do something.
Are you sure it's bad for the government to do nothing? Everything the government does costs me money.
Yeah, me too. Down to my last dollar.